This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Looking for James. He's got it. Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot in history.
Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of something I've always dreamed about. And I would never, ever in a million years dreamt this even better than what it is tonight. So, man, thank you guys.
Hey, LeBron James just taking over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the greatest ever scorer in NBA history, the greatest ever scorer in Australian basketball history. The greatest player we've had is Andrew Gaze. And you know what? He actually averages more points per game than LeBron did.
Well, there you go.
There you go, Gazy. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, well, slightly different level of competition, but nevertheless.
You've got him.
Well, we've heard the pay was around the same, hey, guys?
Yeah, no, not in the same stratosphere, but still, it was fantastic watching it yesterday. It was amazing. In fact, watching on television, hard not to get a little emotional because it was something that I never thought I'd see in my lifetime, and to see little Josh Giddey out there, one of our very own in the opposition team, be a part of it was fantastic.
Andrew, I didn't know how this would play out, but I found it very strange once he had done it that they stopped play, which was very. And then they did a whole presentation.
And
then resumed the game.
Because when Andrew, because you saw Buddy Franklin kick his 1,000th goal, obviously the crowd
Everyone goes on there.
But they didn't do a formal presentation to him.
Didn't do it. So, it's American sport, Gazy.
No, well, that's right, and it's quite common over there. We saw it last year, was it, when Steph Curry broke the three-point record at Madison Square Garden. It's something that they do quite regularly. In fact, they had some rules in place. Check this out. If there was less than a minute to go and there was more than a 10-point margin, they would have actually not finished the game. So they had all these different rules in place that would accommodate what took place. But, in the scheme of things, it is such a huge achievement, and the way it is over there and the way in which they sometimes, they go a little OTT every now and again. So it was, I thought it was well handled by most of them. But in a team sport, there is a lot of look at me type behaviour, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it certainly is. Seeing LeBron, and obviously everyone is always comparing him with Jordan. Jordan won the 6 rings, he won 3, all that kind of stuff. But when you look at all his statistics across the board, he's pretty much got Jordan covered in most of them.
So you're saying that he should be the GOAT?
Well, I think some people in America and across the world really downplay his greatness, which I find bizarre. Gazy?
Yeah, I think that across the journey, there's some things that he's done that hasn't really rubbed people all the right way, because I remember back when we left Cleveland for the first time, he did that whole press conference, and I'm taking my talents to Miami, all that, and a few other bits and pieces along the way that I guess that a lot of people haven't necessarily warmed to him like they did with others. But I think that it's an ongoing debate that it'll never be solved, but it's very hard for those like me that come through the Michael Jordan era to look past him as the greatest of all time.
We have an ongoing debate here to do with NBA, and that is who's more famous to the common people on the street, Tony Collette or Allen Iverson.
I'm so hardcore into the Allen Iverson corner, AI.
Tony Collette's been in some
and
big
the guys
movies.
Are
Andrew, who do you think, to the everyday person on the street, you're walking up to anyone, who would they know more, Tony Collette or Allen Iverson? Go.
Well, I think Allen Iverson might just get the nod ever so slightly.
Yes.
But what about in countries like the UK where basketball's not big? But movies are. Movies are.
Natalie.
Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense.
We'd love to say Tony Collette, wouldn't we? Because we're very patriotic. But AI, he did some extraordinary things, and even in some of those countries where basketball's not necessarily the number one sport, he still, I think, with all the commercials they do, the Reebok commercials and all the other stuff that goes on.
We started this conversation quite some time ago before he was doing that betting.
It's an unusual one.
What do you mean?
I'm an avid follower of sport and basketball. I had not heard of Allen Iverson.
I
know, neither had I. And then Shaun made me watch the documentary, and I went, all right, no worries, and I watched it. But I still thought that the common person would have thought Tony Collette.
We are. But But so are a lot of people. That's the point.
No,
that's the point.
Around the world, it's not even comparable.
Hey, Gazy, let's move on because big game for the Perth Wildcats tonight, of course, this afternoon our time. Can they get it done? What do you reckon?
My word, they can. And anytime you got Bryce Cotton on your team, albeit coming off a stinker,
he had a stinker.
But they will still won the game, and that would be encouraging. So I think that they're a very good chance. Hard when you're away from home, and the last couple of weeks of the season, they didn't do all that well on the road. But there's a lot to like about them. They're putting points on the board. If they get hot, they are very tough to beat.
Though.
Yeah, we were talking about that, Gazy, with the defence. Our mate Mitch Norton, who we speak to regularly, has hardly played in the last month or so. John Riley's really gone for an attacking way of playing. Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, I think they had to make some changes, and they've gone and said, and sometimes you look at your squad and you go, well, you know what, we're just not going to be able to get it done on the defensive end like other teams. So the way in which we can compete is we've got to try and get a score that's going to make it tough for our opponents. And that makes it hard, and particularly in finals when it becomes a lot more physical, a lot more intense. If you're not getting it done on the defensive end, that presents some challenges. But it was a strategic move they made, and him and like you're talking about with Nordo and Toddy Blanchfield is another one that we're normally accustomed to seeing big minutes played. He's had a few DNPs.
Yes.
So it is something different, but it's been working for them. It did help them, and they do have a lot of offensive weapons with Cotton and Webster to Sean Thomas. He's really made
the other Webster.
He can shoot the lights out.
He can.
Yeah. I've heard if Bryce has another bad game, they're pulling Tony Collette off the bench.
That's right.
Which is going to be a great opportunity. You see, we're confused and just like weirded out over here, Andrew, because we've had so many years of the Wildcats being so successful. So this is just unknown territory for us.
Well, you are back in there. Although they're called play-ins, I'm willing to classify them as playoff type games. That's for sure. Because you go back in history, there's been these types of formats throughout.
It's
so
definitely
you're back
a final.
on the count.
Just change the name of it.
That's it. You're certainly you're back in the count, and this is one, and hopefully another for you guys, another 35 straight. It'd be very, very nice.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens today, Andrew. Really appreciate your time. Of course, we'll be able to see all the NBL action on Fox, as it has been ESPN, and you've been doing a great job, mate. Love your input.
You guys are great.
Appreciate it. Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be a cracker. Looking forward to tonight's game. Good luck to you guys and the Wildcats.
Good on you, mate.
No wonder he gets paid as much as LeBron.
That's true.
Yep.
He had his own shoe.
LeBron James of Australian basketball.
Yeah, Gazy, sorry, you had your own shoe once, didn't you?
Excuse me? Big W, $39. We can jump in there right now.
What are they called?
They're called the Yeezys. There's nothing real too flashy, but get in there. Tuck into it. I'll send you guys some shoes and you can give them a sample for me.
Thank you so much. For the people that can't afford the Yeezys, you get the Gazies.
Absolutely rapt to be joined by Fremantle Doctor Sean Darcy. Of course, he's a best and fairest winner. And you know what he was saying to me just off air before, Nat? Why isn't his name in the discussion for the captaincy role?
He was actually really angry about it, and he's confused, and he said that he feels disrespected.
Surely they should do it by height, right?
Yeah, surely. I reckon that should come into it.
How tall are we?
I'm 204.
In feet?
6'9".
6'9". Yeah. What size shoe you got?
I got about a 15 on. So.
Jeez.
You got a 15. You've worked a lot with Spider Sandlands over the journey. Spider's at 18, isn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he couldn't buy them, so he had to order them in specially.
Yeah. So are you having to order yours in?
You can go to a couple of shops and you can get them in there. But...
And when they're on sale, they're usually the ones that are left, aren't they? Because there's only so many.
There's only 3 people that have got them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that you've worked with Spider for so long and you're a big unit, Sean, but...
He made you look short.
He was the first guy I lived with when I got drafted over Freo, and I was like, wow. When I got out of the car and he's standing up, I was like, yeah, we're in the AFL now, aren't we?
I love that they put the two tall ones together.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got something in common.
Is the rest of your family tall?
Yeah, mum and dad are pretty tall. I got a brother who's about 6'6", another brother who's about 5'10", and then a sister who's about 5'10", so...
Oh, the 5'10" brother.
Yeah, he must feel a bit left out.
I know. You guys
Is he only 12?
You guys took all the calcium from him.
I've never asked you, what was it like living with Aaron? Did you have to do some of the cook? Because Aaron cooks a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's a great cook. I was a babysitter, so I think Sloaney was 3 and Billy was 1 at the time, so... It was, I didn't have much to do with kids before that, and I rocked up to the house, and it was all go for them too.
What an eye-opener.
Yeah,
And you were
great.
what, 18?
Yeah, 18. Just freshly out of school. Had really no idea what I was doing.
So when you take a football into your house, can you just make them do whatever you want?
Or it seems like it.
Did you have to do chores? Did you have to mow the lawn and stuff?
If Aaron told me to do anything, I'd be like, yes sir, no sir. Anything.
We all should get one.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long did you live there before you went, oh, I'm going to go out on my own here?
I think I got drafted mid-November, and then I was out before Chrissy, so just in...
Oh, it was just in the very short term.
Yeah, so it wasn't for the whole year.
I was going to say.
Can I just pick up on something?
Yeah.
He's got Hemsworth voice.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon?
Did you know him?
You've got that Chris
The
Hemsworth deep.
It's got the same body as Chris Hemsworth.
He's got that deep Hemsworth sort of tone.
Voice for the radio.
Yeah.
Now,
mate.
Darcy, of course, Fremantle are currently a rudderless ship because there's no captain, because it's Fifey. What was it like when Fifey told you all that he was stepping down?
Yeah, it was pretty big decision for him to make. It's pretty selfless. There was a lot of talk in the media and things like that about him missing the year, and it was a pretty tough year on him. So he got up and he told the boys. So we weren't really expecting it either. He's had a really good pre-season. He's been training. He's been in much him playing forward. It was a bit weird. But yeah, it was a really good decision that he made. He came up by itself. He had a few chats with JL, Bally and Gallo, and he told the boys on Tuesday.
Yeah. So is that when you stood up and screamed, "I'm next"? Was that the moment?
Pick me.
Righto, boys, I'll take it from here. Pass us the keys.
Call me captain, my captain. Let's get on with it.
Well, apart from you, there's obviously talk about Caleb and Andy as being captains, and also Alex. So last year, Alex was in the role for the majority of the year.
Yeah,
clearly, he does a pretty good job as well. So it's going to be hard
if he
to
doesn't get it,
Embarrassing.
how embarrassing!
It's a difficult decision for the club and probably for the players as well.
Yeah, it's a process. So each player votes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 who they think the best leader is. And who they want in the leadership group. So
is it secret ballot? Right.
No one knows. No one knows, but you know.
Is it just do each of them put up a post on Instagram and see who gets the most likes? Is that the way it works?
So I think Andy will win that one. He's the most popular at the moment. So, we've got a lot of leaders at the moment, and a lot of young boys coming in who want to be in that leadership role. They're taking the club, they're driving it really forward. So it's really exciting part.
Now, in the paper today, on the back pages, Sean McManus, former captain of the Fremantle Dockers, saying that he thinks maybe co-captains is the way to go. How do you feel about co-captains?
Yeah, I'm up to anything. All three of them are really good leaders. Alex has had it for the last year, and Andy's had a super year last year, and his leadership has shone really through by the way he plays and how he acts around the club. So, it's really exciting. Co-captains I think would be a good idea too.
And you'd be good because he paid for my shopping that time.
Yeah, that's right.
He told me
That's the number 8 legacy is what you have to do.
$400 you left.
Another idea that Sean's been throwing around as well is having old captains come back and be the current captain. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd take Pav back, wouldn't you?
It's his birthday.
Hold on, mate.
There's only one choice.
You're thinking Pav, I was thinking Bally.
Ben Allen's available.
So I always feel akin to some left-handed goodness. Left-handed boy.
Yep.
Yeah, living in a right-handed world, difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough for us.
Isn't it?
Can't use
struggle, but we get through it.
Yeah. No, we have to navigate. We had to learn how to use scissors. Lever arch files were a bitch to write in, weren't they?
Arm was getting that.
I know.
Come on, you'd have been in days of computers, surely.
You don't understand.
Now computers. I reckon I got a computer when I was about 15, and I was like, this is cool. Now everyone's got them these days. iPhones, things like that.
He used to store his on his floppy disk. And then it turned into a hard disk.
That's right.
So you're a good country boy from Victoria?
Yep.
No, the call of the Vics haven't made you want to go home again?
No, not yet. I'm the furthest away from mum and dad that I can possibly be, so that probably helps. But I grew up in Cobden. We had a farm just outside of Cobden Camptown. That's Warrnambool Way, about 3 hours out of Melbourne.
How big's Cobden?
Cobden, 2,000 if it's lucky.
It's a small town,
small town. So
How big's your farm?
we had about 400, 500 acres and then about 200 head of cattle.
It's not about the size of your farm, Sean, it's how you use it.
That's my motto. Sean, on that, did you, when you go back around Christmas time and stuff like that, you get out there and help out
Oh, I like to say I do, but Dad says I don't.
You're a bit of a liability.
Can you fence? Can you mend the fences?
Yeah, I grew up doing it, but I haven't done it in about 7 years.
Do they crop as well? Did you have to?
No, we cropped back in the day, but
so you didn't have to drive the harvester or anything.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't old enough then.
Have you ever had to put your hand inside an animal?
Yeah, that happens.
And what about one that there was nothing wrong with?
We all have our quirks, don't we?
I don't know. Just getting to know his left hand's been through some trauma.
Well, Sean, looking forward to the pre-season. Couple of games coming up. When do they start?
Yeah, so we got an intra next couple of weeks, and then we got Adelaide at Coburn, and then Port Adelaide at Freo Oval.
So that Adelaide game, they've described it as a match simulation game in the paper. What's the difference between a match simulation and, say, a scratch match?
So I think we're playing 6 quarters.
So that's not a match simulation then?
And they can't really be quarters,
no,
can
that's
they?
right.
There's 6 of them.
There's 6.
Maths.
Yeah. Footy players.
I've got nothing else to offer.
He got smarter on his birthday.
Yeah, so I think they just pick about 30 players and then try to get the match fitness into the boys' legs and things like that. So, 6 quarters. Hopefully, you only play 4 of them. 6 is a lot, so we'll see how we go.
Good on you, Sean. Appreciate you coming in, mate, to celebrate my birthday. I know.
Yeah, what a gift.
I don't know where the gift is. I'm sure it's outside.
I mean, he's on football money, so we know he can afford it.
That's right. Anyway, cheers, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Sean Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.